angel of death awaits.
You ain't the Bat! Who are you? What do you want?
I want you, Chucky boy.
I should be landing any minute. It'll be good to see you again, Arthur.
You too. And don't worry about a thing. We'll clear up these old family finances. Don't forget, you've got a big-time city councilman on your side.
Can't believe it's been 10 years.
Thinking of looking up some old friends?
Oh, Arthur, don't start that again. He's ancient history.
Buzz Bronski, your angel of death awaits.
Get away from me, you freak!
Buzz, is it true? Is the Batman really hitting our people?
We have eyewitnesses.
Hey! It's the Bat! Why? He never leaned on us before. I'm too old for this.
I suppose you could demand police protection.
What are you, a comedian? This is the Batman we're talking about here.
You have to go after him!
He didn't do it. It's garbage, Mr. Reeves. The Batman does not kill. Period. You want him, you get him. I'll have no part of it.
A lot of people, including the police I might add, think Batman's as unstable as the crooks he brings in.
Batman's knocking us off and you're the only one who can take him down. Look, $5 million up front, whatever you want to finish him off. Think, you fool. Once he gets me, how long till he gets you? You know what I'm talking about. Your hands are just as dirty. Dirtier.
So how goes the bat bashing?
Better than your love life. Really, Bruce, it's almost as if you picked them because you know there's no chance for a serious relationship. At least since that one girl. What was her name? Anne? Andy? Andrea? Yes, Andrea Beaumont. Now there was a sweet number. How'd you let her get loose?
You. Bruce?
Christmas Day 1993, Batman Mask of the Phantasm arrived on the big screen in the United States, produced on a relatively modest budget for an animated feature at $6 million. It totally bombed in theatres, mainly down to Warner Brothers failing to market the movie, and with it arriving with not much build-up or awareness. It never arrived in theatres in the UK and went straight to video. I remember seeing it being advertised in comics, but I was a little baffled as to when the film was coming out, until a random trip to my local W.H. Smith store and found it on video. The toy manufacturer Kenner produced a number of action figures to tie in with the movie, but as usual you get many bizarre alterations of the Batman suit, and the only original figures to purchase was the Phantasm and the Joker. Critics at the time highly praised the movie. Empire magazine awarded it 5 out of 5. The Washington Post loved the style and the mature themes, and Siskel and Ebert regretted not seeing it in theatres and highly recommended it when it arrived on Laserdisc and video, and both agreed it was better than the current live-action films, and Gene said it was on par with the original Tim Burton movie. The animated series arrived on TV in 1992 and proved to be a tremendous success. It was heavily inspired by the Superman Fleischer cartoons of the early 40s. With its heavy use of Art Deco and film noir, Batman was loved by many of all ages, and remains one of the best cartoons of the 90s, and nothing has replaced it even today, down to its great stories and for it not solely being aimed at children. Due to its success, Warner's wanted to release a feature-length movie. The animators started work on what they thought would be a direct-to-video release. A short while into production, Warner's wanted to pursue a theatrical release and gave them a release date. They only had a short space of time to get the film done. The animators went back and readjusted the cells to meet the required ratio standards for cinema projection. Warner's gave them more money and more creative freedom, and with the extra money came a new intro which was done in CGI, which blends really well with the traditional 2D animation. The movie starts with a conference with the crime bosses of Gotham. Gangster Chucky Sale is killed by a mysterious cloaked figure, the Phantasm, shortly before Batman bursted in on their meeting. Due to the Phantasm's resemblance to Batman, The Dark Knight is blamed for Sol's death. Councilman Arthur Reeves tells the media that Batman is a public menace, despite Commissioner Gordon's protests. Then Arthur Reeves attends a party at the mansion of billionaire Bruce Wayne, Batman's alter ego. Reeves teases Bruce about his bad luck with women, and for having allowed an old girlfriend, Andrea Beaumont, to get away. Bruce walks off feeling depressed and wants to be alone. In a flashback to 10 years before, Bruce meets Andrea in a cemetery while visiting his parents' grave, and they are instantly attracted to one another. That night, in one of his first crime-fighting attempts, Bruce foils an armoured car robbery while disguised in a black ski mask and leather jacket. Though he succeeds, he is discouraged that the criminals did not fear him. Around the same time, he begins a romance with Andrea, who pays him a visit while he is training. Eventually, Bruce decides to abandon his plan to become a crime-fighting vigilante and proposes marriage to Andrea. Soon afterwards, however, Andrea mysteriously disappears, leaving Gotham with her father, Carl Beaumont, ending her engagement to Bruce in a Dear John-style letter. Believing that he has lost his only chance of having a normal life, Bruce dons the mask of Batman for the first time. The Phantasm finds and murders another gangster, Buzz Bronski. Around the same time, Batman discovers that Andrea has returned to Gotham for the first time in 10 years. Batman soon finds evidence linking Andrea's father with gangster Salvatore Valestra, for whom both Sol and Bronski once worked for as enforcers. The Phantasm later targets Valestra, who turns to the Joker for help. The Phantasm arrives at Valestra's house and finds the gangster already dead at the Joker's hands. The house then explodes, with the Phantasm barely escaping. Batman pursues the Phantasm but is interrupted by the police, who believe that Batman is responsible for the murders. Shirley Walker was one of the few female film score composers in Hollywood and worked closely with Danny Elfman on the Tim Burton Batman films and worked extensively on the animated series. She composed the entire score to Mask of the Phantasm. Apparently it was one of her personal favourite soundtracks. The animated series did use some themes from the Tim Burton movie, but for this feature she provides all new material. There are many great themes throughout the movie, starting with the opening titles, the love theme for Bruce and Andrea, and the destruction of the World's Fair at the end. The soundtrack was originally released in 1993, but wasn't released in full, but thankfully La La Land Records released a complete score in 2012, featuring 27 minutes more material, but unfortunately it's now sold out. There were no video game direct tie-ins for the animated movie, but there were a number of games released across the 16-bit platforms based on the TV series. The Super Nintendo version was the one I always wanted as a kid, but it rarely dropped in price in the UK, and always sold for over £40, and even when I saw it pre-owned it still sold for a high price, and I could never afford it with my pocket money. The Mega Drive version played a lot different, and had a very high difficulty curve, and many gamers found it difficult to get through. Despite its hard difficulty, it pushed the Mega Drive to its limits. The programmers showed off what the Mega Drive could do if put in the right hands. Great rotation effects and impressive parallax scrolling, plus it was a 2-player game. The SNES version looked more like the cartoon, but in comparison to the Mega Drive version, it played a bit more sluggish and lacked the wow factor of the Sega version. But both, however, are great Batman games, and you should definitely seek them out. The Mega CD received a version which ignored any platform-style gameplay and went straight for the driving style. It incorporated clips from the cartoon. The animated segments, about 16 minutes in total, in the video game for the Mega CD are sometimes referred to as the lost episode of the series. These segments were intended to be cutscenes between gameplay elements of the game, closely resembling the episodes of the actual television program. The animation was done by the same crew who worked on the actual cartoon, which gave equal quality and style as the conventional episodes. Graphically the game looked great, but it was very repetitive. Batman Mask of the Phantasm still retains that title as one of the best Batman movies, despite the Christopher Nolan series coming along and expanding upon Bruce Wayne's background and his progression to Batman, and it obviously impressed a large majority of critics and fans. What makes the animated movie stand out and be fondly remembered is the relationship between Bruce and Andrea, and his eventual decision to become the Dark Knight. With the flashbacks in Bruce's life serving as the backstory, each time when it flashes back, things get worse for Bruce, and with Andrea returning the engagement ring and informing him that they can't be together and telling him to forget about her, leaves Bruce only one choice but to continue with his original plan and become Batman. Alfred's reaction to his transformation is very effective, seeing this man he looked after since he was a child and losing his chance of happiness and what becomes of him in the end. Everything is told in a simple manner and it makes the story very easy to follow, and you get to know all the characters and their motives very quickly. The film is only 76 minutes long and does everything in a short space of time, and you're not left feeling disappointed by the characters' actions or how they are portrayed. Batman Begins is a solid film but tells its story over 2 hours, but with Mask of the Phantasm it does it a lot quicker but without feeling underdeveloped, which is tough to do, and the writers make it look so easy. The themes in Mask of the Phantasm are solid and work well throughout the movie. Bruce and Andrea going on a date at the World's Fair, and ending up together battling the Joker at the end at the same place, but where it's all been destroyed and looking very bleak. It portrays a very dark future for Batman returning to familiar ground, and where things have changed for the worse. At the end, Bruce feels depressed that he couldn't save Andrea, but Alfred reassures him that he couldn't have done anything because she had changed years ago and no one could have changed her mind on her decisions to seek revenge. But it's great there is a glimmer of hope for him when he notices the necklace left in his Batcave that lets Bruce know she is still alive. The secret identity of the Phantasm is not revealed to the very end. The Joker figures it out, it's Andrea, very quickly. As you, the viewer, you are led to believe it's her father. Andrea tries to hide her feelings and makes constant references to her father to confuse Bruce. The idea of Andrea following a familiar route to Bruce but by making things more personal is a good reflection of what Batman could have become if he didn't follow his own rules. The animation is on the same level as the animated series, with extra bits of detail and an increased scale to the action set pieces. When the World's Fair is destroyed, the direction is very cinematic and is definitely the standout piece of the movie. I love the moment where Batman is chased in the construction site and is cornered by the police. It's a great homage to the Batman Year One comics. The voice acting is great as usual, with the usual cast members returning from the animated series. Kevin Conroy is a fan favourite and will always be the voice of Batman. Also, Mark Hamill is unforgettable as the Joker. It always surprised me as a kid when I found out it was Luke Skywalker doing the voice. Hart Buckner plays Councilman Arthur Reeves. Some of you may remember him from Die Hard and Supergirl the movie. It's a shame Warner Brothers haven't treated the movie with much care over the years. It still hasn't been given that HD treatment, and generally it just gets released in twin packs with Batman Sub-Zero. Despite its failure at the box office, it certainly made its money back and became very popular on DVD, so there is no reason why Warners can't give Mask of the Phantasm that special edition treatment. What makes this film work so well for me is the love affair between Bruce and Andrea. It works extremely well, and the movie has a very sad tone of lost love. And you do feel sorry for Bruce because he can't have the happiness in life he wants so much. It's great the character of Batman is treated with such care and respect. When it comes to anything Batman related, or say Superman, in popular media such as films, cartoons and video games, leave it to the Warner Brothers animation team and writers, because they know the characters better than anyone.
It doesn't mean I don't care anymore. I don't want to let you down, honest, but it just doesn't hurt so bad anymore. You can understand that, can't you? Look, I can give money to the city, they can hire more cops, let someone else take the risk, but it's different now. Please, I need it to be different now. Alfred, what's wrong?
This just arrived, sir.
Left with Dad. Too young. Need time. Forget about me.
What do you want?
To find out who's iced the old gang.
Haven't you read the papers? It's Batman!
Wrong. It ain't the Bat. Nope, nope, nope. I've seen the guy. He looks more like the ghost of Christmas future.
Joker, your angel of death awaits.
I'm impressed, lady. You're harder to kill than a cockroach on steroids.
So you figured it out.
father's dead, isn't he? You came into town early to get Chucky Saul, so you could shift the blame to your father if you had to.
Joker.
Look what they did to us! What we could have had! They had to pay!
But Andy, what will vengeance solve?
If anyone knows the answer to that, Bruce, it's you.
If you enjoyed the video, you can find more on my YouTube channel, and also you can follow me on Twitter. If you want to help support the channel, you can donate through Patreon and receive monthly perks such as updates on the latest news on my channel, early access to reviews and commentaries before they go live on YouTube. Even the smallest donation can help keep this channel going. Thank you.